Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today I'm going to be breaking down what I think is next for a lot of the main card fighters of the UFC Baku Fight Night. But before I get into it, I'm noticing a lot of things when it comes to the aftermath of the whole Jon Jones retirement. And every fighter I see that's talking about it, maybe not everyone, but I'd say like 90% of them are like, no, Jon didn't duck anybody. No, Jon didn't duck Aspinall. It's like, guys, he's not coming to your birthday party. He's not going to go on your podcast. Like, you're allowed to be honest, man. Like, for example, it's like, let's say you're watching a TV series, right? And you've loved it. It's amazing. But then the ending, it's like, what? Like, what a shitty ending. Like, you hate the ending? Doesn't mean the series was bad. It's just you didn't like the ending. Like, same thing with Jon Jones, right? Obviously, the controversy of, like, the fail test and all that, I get it. But for a majority of opinion of the MMA world, they're like, Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. However, you look at his resume and everything, it's very impressive. But as far as the ending and the heavyweight saga, it's just been a complete nightmare. And I just feel like a lot of fighters need to be a lot more honest, especially because if you're not able to be like give an honest assessment and an accurate take, because you guarantee behind the scenes and all this, everyone's in agreement that he ducked Aspinall. Because it's not, like I said before, it's not a McGregor situation where it's just like he's sitting on the sidelines and he's just, shooing away a lot of these fighters that want a money fight. It's not that. Jon Jones should have fought Tom Aspinall before he even fought Stipe Miocic. He should have never fought Stipe Miocic. Aspinall was the interim champion then. He was the rightful number one contender, and he ducked him to fight a 40-plus-year-old that's been knocked out 4 years ago, has done nothing in the fight game since. And like I said, same thing, it's not to take anything away from Stipe's legacy, but let's be honest. The Stipe that showed up to fight Jon Jones was not the Stipe of old. It is what it is. So, by definition, Jon Jones did duck Tom Aspinall because he's the heavyweight champion. He's supposed to fight the rightful number one contender, and he didn't. And he turned him down. It's not to say Jon Jones isn't the greatest or he hasn't done anything in his career. It's not that. It's just, I hate how everyone's being so, like, I don't know what the word is, but it's just like, everyone's being so fake about this situation. It's really annoying to me because that's the thing. You're allowed to be honest with your colleagues. You're not bashing Jon. You're not bringing up his personal life. It's just, the facts are, he did duck Tom Aspinall. And it is what it is. Like you can pretend and you can be like, oh yeah, well, he did this, 13 years ago, so he would never duck. He did duck him now. He did. We're not talking about Jon 5-10 years ago. We're talking about Jon now. The ending of his career, stalling out Tom Aspinall, wasting everyone's time, was a shitty ending to this series. Like, it is what it is. So it's just, I hope a lot of fighters in the future be a lot more honest with their takes because, yeah, it's just, I hate the whole, yeah, let's pretend like we like him and yeah. Like, no, it has nothing to do with his personal life. It has nothing to do with his career 5-10 years ago. Right now, the heavyweight saga, it's been a complete nightmare. It's been a complete mess. Be honest. Be real. Like, what's he going to do? Like, beat you up? No, he's retired. Well, I mean, maybe. You look at the track record. But, whatever. Besides the point, let's get into it. So, Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Rountree. Khalil Rountree schooled him. Now, as far as what's next for Khalil Rountree, I'm pretty sure he's been, like, kind of self-aware. It's like, okay, I'm probably not going to get a title shot next. However, he is willing to step in there again, which is refreshing because you got fighters like Gaethje who are like, I'm not fighting until I get my 18th title shot. No way. So, I like the attitude from Khalil Rountree. Now, a lot of people are saying that, oh, book him versus Yuri Prochazka. Easy, like, no-brainer. You definitely could do that. You definitely could. However, I feel like, what are we going to do with Carlos Alberg then, right? Because someone's going to have to be the backup for Magomed versus Pereira, right? And I'm pretty sure Pereira, he confirmed that he does want that fight, so all the things that Ankalaev was saying that Pereira's done aren't true. So I feel like Yuri Prochazka might be the backup for that fight, simply because I feel like the UFC really likes Yuri. Even though he turned down the Ankalaev fight for school, I feel like it is what it is. Like, he had other priorities, and you can't resent someone for having a life outside of fighting. Everyone has their own goals and ambitions outside of their main career. So, you got to applaud Yuri for that. So I don't think they're going to be too mad at him, like the whole Armin situation. So I feel like Yuri definitely probably should be the next backup for the title shot. Whether he deserves a flat-out title shot, it's debatable. But as far as backup, I think that's what they should do. And then I feel like you look at the rankings here. So Khalil Rountree's number 7 before he fight Jamal. Now he's number 4. I feel like, and that's the thing, I wouldn't hate a Yuri matchup at all. I would not. Don't get me twisted. However, I feel like they should do Khalil Rountree versus Carlos Alberg, because Alberg, especially with that performance against Jan Blachowicz, you're not going to get a title shot after that. Like, I'm sorry, it is what it is. Let's just be real. So, yeah, I would definitely like to see either Yuri or Carlos Alberg, but preferably Alberg, simply because I feel like Yuri deserves more of a higher ranked matchup. And, yeah, as far as Jamahal Hill, he looked quite bad. He looked zero improvement. And I've said before in my other videos, I'd like to see him be fully move his camp and everything and join the, I think, what is it, Extreme Couture with Eric Nicksick. I'd love to see Jamahal Hill permanently stay in that gym. And I feel like Eric Nicksick, he's not going to let Jamahal Hill show up with like a flabby stomach or a stomach. He's not going to let him, skip practices and all that. I feel like he needs someone a lot more dialed in like Eric, where Eric's seen a lot of these heavyweight guys. You got Ngannou at that gym. So I just feel like it's a no-brainer, especially for Jamahal Hill. If he has intentions on trying to go back to the belt, I definitely think this gym is not going to cut it. So you're going to need to go up and improve your coaching staff. It is what it is, like, as I always say, it doesn't have to be this, nasty breakup like, oh, you betrayed us. No. It's just, I'd like to see Eric Nicksick take control of that ship, because as of right now, it's sinking. He's 0-3 in his last 3. He's shown zero improvement. I get the Achilles thing. I totally get it. However, just basic adjustments in his style and his I don't know, the game plan. I don't know what his game plan against Khalil was, but clearly it didn't work, if there was one at all. So, yeah, I would just like to see Eric in there, get him more intense, get him more dialed in, and sharpen up his skill set, and really mold him into Jamal 2.0 if he has intentions on staying. If he's retiring, it is what it is. We haven't heard anything from Jamahal Hill since, so I'd like to see what he has to say. But, yeah, as far as the matchup goes for Jamahal Hill, like I said, I've seen a lot of people talking about Jan Blachowicz. I feel like that would be a decent fight for sure. But I don't know how long Jamahal Hill is going to want out. And depending on how Jamahal Hill is recovering from his previous fight with Khalil, I don't know if the timeline would make sense, especially since Jan's getting a lot older. So I don't know how much Jan has left in the tank. So let's say Jan Blachowicz is off the table. Another name that I've seen a lot is Dominic Reyes. And Dominic Reyes seems to be back in good form. And I feel like it would be a good fight for Jamahal Hill too, because Jamahal Hill's got the power. And Dominic Reyes has been chinned before, multiple times. And so is Jamahal Hill now. So I feel like it's just kind of like a pick-em matchup, especially with how Jamahal Hill's been performing as of lately. I see a lot of people that would pick Dominic Reyes, and to me it makes sense. I feel like if you do Jamahal Hill versus Dominic Reyes, that'd be a decent fight as well, because, like I said, Khalil Rountree is number 7, so Jamahal Hill is number 4, so obviously I think they're going to swap places. If not, Jamahal Hill will be around, 5, 6, 7. Whereas right ahead of Dominic Reyes, and Dominic Reyes deserves a fight upwards in the rankings, so to me it makes perfect sense. Like I said, this all depends on Jamahal Hill's recovery time and what he needs off. But yeah, moving on. So as far as Rafael Fiziev goes, he won the fight. And I feel like, I don't know if this is a hot take or whatever, but if you look at the rankings at 145 here, I feel like, call me crazy, because like I said, I want him down at 145. Rafael Fiziev is currently ranked number 11 in lightweight. Now, depending on if rankings translate or not, if you go throughout a division, so let's say, he's ranked number 11 in lightweight, maybe he'll go to, I don't know if they'd give him unranked opponent at featherweight, because I feel like he deserves a lot higher than that. To me, I've been thinking, book him versus Josh Emmett. How would that be a bad fight, You got Josh Emmett, who's tough as nails, comes forward for everything. Rafael Fiziev, an excellent elite striker. I'd love to see what he can do at this division. And I just feel like it's a really exciting, fun matchup that the fans would be excited for as well. And you look at around those rankings, you got Gene Silva. I feel like Gene Silva, a lot of the rumors are saying that he's going to go up and fight Diego Lopez, so I don't think Gene Silva will want to entertain that. And then as far as Aljamain, same thing. I don't think he wants to fight a dangerous young up-and-comer like that. I think Aljamain was saying that he wanted who was it? Brian Ortega. And then, yeah, obviously they could book Fiziev versus Lerone Murphy, but I feel like as far as exciting fights go, him versus Josh Emmett would make all the sense in the world. And as far as Ignacio Bahamondes, I don't know, because he's out of the rankings now. I feel like he definitely needs a little bit of work. And I don't think he took a lot of damage, so he can get back in there relatively soon. So if you look at the rankings here at the bottom of lightweight, I feel like if the UFC wants to keep pushing Bahamondes, they could do a Joel Alvarez fight. But I don't know. I heard that Joel Alvarez wants to go up to 170, so it could be that. They could do him versus Benoit Saint Denis, but that's the thing. If Benoit Saint Denis is willing to accept an unranked opponent, so I guess it all depends on where the UFC sees him. So yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what they're gonna do with him. But yeah, I feel like Bahamondes still has a lot of left in the tank, and he's young, and he's really tall for the division. So I would definitely like to see him against another striker. I feel like Rafael Fiziev probably was a bit too much for him at this time. And that's the thing, he did well. It's just, I don't know. Let him rebuild himself in the rankings. I feel like Benoit Saint Denis would be a really good matchup. And yeah, moving on. So we got Curtis Blades versus Rizvan Kuniev. For Curtis Blades, I feel like he called out Gane, which, it's a decent call out, I guess. However, I feel like that's the fight that they're going to make with Tom Aspinall, because that's the only guy Tom Aspinall hasn't fought and hasn't beat yet. So I don't think they're going to give that to Curtis Blades. I feel like with Curtis Blades, you got Sergey Pavlovich, who's ahead of him, but I'm pretty sure he's booked against Waldo Ordez Costa. So I feel like Curtis Blades, you can put him up with Alexander Volkov. I feel like that would be a good fight. I don't think they've fought yet. And I feel like you shouldn't punish Curtis Blades, even though, a lot of people were booing when the scorecards were read and thought he lost. He already fought Jailton Almeida and Marcin Tybura. I feel like it would just be way down the rankings. And I feel like Curtis Blades, as much as he's been kind of hit or miss, he's been in the top 5 for a while. So I feel like he's going to want to be, treated a bit better than that. So yeah, I feel like you can do Curtis Blades versus Alexander Volkov and figure out a lot of things for the veterans of the heavyweight division. Because get one of them out of there and then start to replace them with the new guard. And then as far as Rizvan Kuniev, I feel like his stock didn't really go down that much in this fight. I feel like, you know what? Do Rizvan Kuniev versus Tai Tuivasa. There you go. Tai Tuivasa, he said he wanted to come back, I think, early next year, which, come on. Get him back here at the end of this year. Do him versus Rizvan Kuniev. And, to me, that's like make or break for Tai Tuivasa. I hope Tai Tuivasa wins, because I hate seeing the only personality we have in heavyweight, go down the tubes. And I feel like it would be a tough fight for Tai Tuivasa, but it is a majority of a striking match. And Tai Tuivasa definitely has a chance. It's just same thing with Tai. I'd like to see him in a new gym as well, and hopefully he can reinvent himself. I've always questioned why Tai Tuivasa wasn't in City Kickboxing, because I get he goes to Dubai or whatever for his camps, but it would just make more sense for him to go there, because there's so much good competition, and you got Alberg, Adesanya, so you got bigger guys to go help train with. And they're a lot faster too, so it'll get him sharpened up with his speed and just his defensive timing. So yeah, I feel like you definitely could do that for Kuniev as well. I mean, you could also do you can obviously go down the rankings and give him Mick Perkin or Taliesin Teixeira. But yeah, if you want to get Rizvan Kuniev, build up his resume and his name power, I feel like putting him against one of the, I wouldn't say he's a star anymore, but Tai Tuivasa, he's still a name, so yeah, you can do that. Obviously, you can do him versus Derek Lewis as well, but I'm pretty sure Derek Lewis is booked, so maybe after that fight, but yeah. And that's about it. Mitzbek or Lorbai, I mean, he's on rank 2, so I don't know. I don't really know what the top, outside the top 15, so they'll have to kind of figure that out. But yeah, as far as the ranked opponents, that's what I would like to see. And like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.